I have no idea how this blush is going to show up on camera because I think I went a little too ham, so we shall see. So if I look very flushed, it's because I overdid my blush. And apparently I rhyme now. Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather and this is the happenings with H.A.P. H.A.P. meaning my initials. I'm sure you guys have noticed that there's a little bit of a shift happening right now, and that is because I have my computer right down here and we are going to be doing a tier ranking video today. I've seen a couple of them and they seem really fun. I'm definitely a fan of ranking things, so I figured this would be fun, and if you guys like this video I can definitely make more, but I figured I would start with something that is universally loved and do a tier ranking of all of the Pixar films. I know that you clicked on the little video because it said that, but that is what we are doing today. We are tier ranking all of the Pixar films. I'm a huge Disney fan and I'm especially a huge fan of Pixar. Happened since they released their first film. So tier ranking them is going to be a challenge. But I figured if I'm gonna do any tier ranking video, I might as well do this one. And if you guys are interested in more, I will definitely keep doing this. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. So as always, if you are new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy the content. If you are returning, thank you for watching again. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below and click a like, comment if you want. Love interacting with everybody, and I appreciate all the support I've been getting over these last couple of months. So we're going to get into the video now, and I'm excited but also kind of scared. So let's get into the video. Okay, so I created 6 different tiers to choose from. So we have God tier, demigod tier, great tier, good tier, meh tier, which is meh. Like, I would not probably watch it again if I had a choice. If it's on TV, I probably wouldn't really stick around to watch it. And then we also have trash tier. Now, in my ranking of all of these movies, I consider all of them a work of art. Pixar's animation is brilliant. I'm primarily judging it on the storyline more so than anything else. The storyline, the characters. This is not a call out of animation style. This is not a call out of, you know, all the work that all these people put in. It's really basically the story and the characters, if I connected to it, if I had an emotional response or not. That's really where we're judging this stuff. So I don't want anyone to get upset if your movie you love ends up in the trash tier. These are just my opinions. And during the course of this, I'm probably gonna end up changing them because I have 22 movies. It's 22 Pixar films and 6 different tiers. I can't throw all of them in God tier. That is not fair. So I'm going to try to have a max of 4 per tier. Obviously I have less than that. So some will have less, but I don't want to have more because otherwise then it's like just, yeah, it would just be, everything would be in like God or demigod tier, and that's not right. So we are going to have a maximum of 4 per tier. So that's gonna make this very hard. And as I said, until we get to the end, none of these are finalized. These are just kind of my first immediate thoughts on this. So let's get into it. We have Up. I think I'm gonna go good tier. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go good tier for Up. I know already people are screaming at me. The first 15 minutes of Up are God tier, hands down. The rest of it, I enjoy, but not as much as I wanted to. Like, there's moments of heart between the characters and the kind of emotional journey that Carl goes through is beautiful. However, none of it lives up to that first 15 minutes, unfortunately. So I have to put it in good tier. Like, it's good. It's a good movie. I'm debating between good and great, but right now I'm going to put it in good. But the first 15 minutes alone would be God tier. If the whole movie was like that first 15 minutes, then it would be God tier. So, but it's not. So we're going to do good. All right. The original Toy Story we are gonna go God tier. For right now, God tier. That was the first. Toy Story was the first major Pixar film, and I still vividly remember going to see this in the movie theater and being in awe of the animation and how realistic it looked, and adoring the story and wishing my toys had come to life as a kid. Like, I was 9 when this came out, so essentially I was Andy's age. The animation still holds up, and like I said, I still remember seeing it and thinking it looked so real, because it did at the time. So this was like, it's monumental, and I may move it, I don't know. It's God tier because of the significance of it as a piece of film history, a piece of Pixar history. Like, this is what started it all. And yeah. Yeah. So next on here is Monsters, Inc. Do I want to put great? Do I want to put good? I might put it in great tier. Or do I want to put it in good? I'll put it in good for now. This was actually like a really good sequel, but it's not. Yeah, I think good makes sense. This was a really great sequel, and it was very enjoyable. Like, just kind of to see Mike and Sully's relationship develop. You know, how they kind of got their relationship that they ended up having. Like, I do love watching it when it's on like Freeform and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it'll be good tier. It's a darn good sequel for sure. Finding Dory. I think great tier for Finding Dory. I think I want to do that. This is so hard. I think I want to do great tier for Finding Dory. I loved the baby Dory. Obviously had its emotional impact, of course. I think I want to do great tier. Oh my gosh, this is so difficult. This is fun, but it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, again, for a sequel, this was really spectacular. And obviously the animation's beautiful. And I love the introduction of the other characters in this, like the new characters we got to meet, the whales and the octopus and all that. Like, it was actually really fun. Like, it was a fun adventure, and I really enjoyed it a lot, actually. Yeah. So great. Yeah, I'll put it at great for now. Finding Nemo. This is gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna put it in good tier. That's a, I know. I think the reason I put it in good tier is when it came out, it was so overhyped, I think. And I saw it and I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it deserved the type of hype that it got. The animation is gorgeous, but I didn't love it. But I don't hate it. Like, good tiers, it's good. Like, I still watch it when it's on TV, but I'd actually prefer to watch Finding Dory when it's on TV over Finding Nemo. So that's interesting, but it's true. Like, obviously, you know, again, we have fun characters. We have the turtles, the sharks, all that. It's really fun, but I think I find Marlin as a character not as engaging as Dory or Nemo themselves. And since it's so focused heavily on Marlin, I think that's probably part of the reason why. Yeah. So, on to the next one. This is Cars 2, and that goes immediately into the trash. I'm not a huge fan of the Cars franchise in general. I don't love them. I don't. And because Cars 2 focused on Mater, I can't stand it. Like, I do not like Larry the Cable Guy anyway. So the fact that we have a whole movie focusing on him, like, I don't care. So that is the main reason this is trash. Like, this is probably the easiest one. Easy trash. Yes. Easy trash. The Incredibles is going to go in great tier. Very easy, that one. Yeah, that seems about right. I think, or do I want demigod tier for Incredibles? You know what? I lie. Demigod tier. Yeah, Incredibles demigod tier for sure. It's such a fun play on the superhero trope, and there was such a realism about it. Like, Pixar for the most part doesn't have too many films that have actual human characters, so to see that was really fun, and the kind of lore and mythos that they created with these superheroes was really awesome to see. So definitely demigod tier for sure. Ratatouille, also demigod tier. I adore Ratatouille. I would put it in God tier if I actually had a choice, but because of what I believe I'm going to put in God tier, it won't fit. So demigod tier it goes. I love it so much. It's such a wonderful movie, and one of the last parts where the critic, takes the bite of Ratatouille and is immediately transported back to his childhood. It's just like, oh, it's so moving, and Remy's so cute. Like, I love the animation in this. I love the story. It's fun, it's sweet, and like everything, it has a lot of heart, and it still gets me in the feels every time, as always. So yeah. The Good Dinosaur. I'm gonna put it in meh tier. So I honestly barely remember the plot of The Good Dinosaur. It was interesting they made the cavemen basically be like, animals, and the dinosaurs were like people, and they're farmers and stuff like that. And then of course we have a father death because it's Pixar. Something sad has to happen. So yeah, Good Dinosaur, it's not bad. It's not great. It's meh. I'd probably have to watch it again to like double check, but I watched it the first time, not too long after it came out. So I only saw it a few years ago, and it was meh. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just meh. So yeah. The first Cars movie. I guess I'll put it in good tier. Yeah, again, I'm not the biggest Cars fan. It's just such an overhyped franchise, and there are other like original content or other sequels I'd wanted them to make besides the 3 car sequels that they had to churn out. For what it is, it's pretty decent. It's a comment on, rural life versus urban and the American heartland and the decimation of that and all that. But, it was fine. I enjoyed parts of it, but it wasn't... I almost want to put it in meh tier. All right, we're keeping it at good for now. No, or do I want to put it in meh tier? Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, I might change my mind. I'm keeping it good tier. Okay, I'm keeping it good tier for now. Oh, this is hard. Yeah, so I'm keeping it good tier. No. We're going meh tier. We're going meh tier. Oh, man, I'm making a lot of people mad. Okay, yeah, it's going into the meh tier because I'm just not... Yeah. Yeah, it's going in meh tier. And the next film is Cars 3, which I think I'm going to put in good tier. I think I'm going to put it in good tier. I preferred Cars 3 out of all of them. I just thought that there was like a better story with him, like, realizing that he's going to have to retire and kind of dealing with that, as well as seeing a protege and basically taking a step down, becoming the type of mentor that he adored. So there was a lot of character growth, there was a lot of story growth, and I think that's why I like this one more than the first one. Because the first one, he's just basically a hotshot, and he kind of stays a hotshot anyway, with help from his, rural friends. But the third one just had a bit better of a storyline. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the third one. A Bug's Life. I guess we'll go meh tier. It's not bad. It's not great. Like, it's obviously early Pixar, and I know it did not do nearly as well as Toy Story. It also had competition from Ants. I do prefer it to Ants, but A Bug's Life just doesn't do much. Like the story is just okay. It's not the best, I don't think. Yeah. Incredibles 2 is going to go into great tier. I was hyped for this when it came out, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I did like, the storyline and the comment on basically women in the workplace and Mr. Incredible being a stay-at-home father. And you have a good villain. It was a creepy villain, like the way that it was a great story, but it wasn't nearly as good as the first one. And I'd hoped it would be, or better, but it just wasn't, unfortunately. WALL-E is going to be God tier. I was just doing a psych out. WALL-E is definitely God tier for me. I know not everyone agrees with me. The first 30, 40 minutes of the film are a legit silent film of Chaplin-esque qualities, and it is brilliant. The animation in WALL-E is also brilliant, and the story is super timely even now, and this movie is a good, I want to say almost decade old. I think it is. And when Eve re-puts in a CPU and he powers back on and the light from his eyes is gone and he runs over his little cockroach friend and doesn't know anything besides what he's programmed to do, and Eve thought she lost him, I bawl. Oh my gosh, so good, so good. It's so wonderful. I'd love a sequel to WALL-E, but it's also perfect by itself, but a sequel would be really amazing at the same time. So love WALL-E, so wonderful. Yeah. Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. will do great tier. I really enjoyed Monsters Inc. a lot. The relationship between Sully and Boo is so sweet. The last moments when the door is put together and he sees her are just so touching. And when he says goodbye to her, oh my gosh, so good. I want a third film in this franchise because I'm very curious. I just like these characters, and since we have the sequel was actually technically a prequel, I would like to see a legitimate sequel. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that movie so much. It's so good. So good. Love it. So funny, so heartwarming. Yeah. Inside Out is next, and I'm going to put that in demigod tier. I know a lot of people either love or hate Inside Out, but the way that the world of Inside Out, the universe that it's created is so interesting. Talk about a sequel that I want. I want an Inside Out sequel so bad. I just love the way that they made emotions be real beings. When I was a kid, I always imagined that these little not people, but little, I guess people lived within me and would control everything about me. I was a weird child. I don't know. But this is so similar to that in that that's their job. That's what they do. But the way that they manifested these emotions and how the inner brain works, which apparently they did research on, and a lot of things are actually very accurate to how long-term memory happens and all that stuff. I would look into it. It was very interesting. Apparently their depiction of that is pretty accurate. But oh man, when Bing Bong is forgotten, talk about bawling. There's no way you can watch that scene and not get hit in the feels, because that was a lot. Such a good movie. I thought it was so underrated. I loved it though. So good. Just so good. Oh, all right. Next movie we have is Coco, and that is going right up to God tier. One of the best Pixar films in recent years, for sure. It's perfect. It's such a beautiful representation of the afterlife, a beautiful representation of Mexican culture and beliefs about the afterlife, and the Remember Me sequence. I'll talk about this in my movies tag, which I will link above. But I saw this in the theater by myself. It was a 3D showing. It was like me and like a mother and her like maybe 12-year-old daughter and maybe like one other person. So it was like a matinee. So there's no one in there. And it was a bit after it came out. And the Remember Me sequence, I cry at Pixar a lot. Over half these movies have made me bawl. But I've never cried as much as I did for that. That was insanity. I actually have not watched it since that first time because I have to like emotionally prepare again. But the storyline, the characters, the animation was gorgeous. Like everything about it. I know it did well, but I want to see, as a fan of Disney parks, I want to see way more Coco representation in the parks. It is obscene how much there is Toy Story, which I love, how much there is Cars, and they don't have much Coco representation, especially at Disney World where they have literally a Mexican pavilion in Epcot. Like, I want Coco representation. Like, it is such a great film, and also just so important of the fact that out of all of Pixar films, I know we only have like 5 left, but out of all of them, this was the first and only character of color as a protagonist. We do have another one in Soul that was scheduled to be released in the summer, but because of the craziness of the world, it wasn't. And that will be the second one, but there's not much representation in Pixar, so I'm glad that they're going to try to start fixing that. But oh my God, so beautiful. And I love that they actually have a Spanish language version as well. Like that's a legitimate, not just like, oh, we're dubbing this to dub it and whatever. Like they actually just have like a polished, very well done Spanish language version that they released theatrically at the same time. And I think that's really awesome. And I'm glad to see that they're stepping up for that kind of representation. But if you haven't seen Coco, please do. So good. Love it. Toy Story 2. I'm gonna go demigod tier with Toy Story 2. I would do God tier, but there's one more film that I want to put in God tier. So this was hard. I love Toy Story 2. It's one of the few sequels that is just brilliant. Like, I would put it in God tier if I could put more up in God tier. That's really the whole thing. Like, I don't want to put it in demigod tier, but there's more to come, so I have to. And oh man, Jessie's sequence in that film, the When She Loves Me sequence rips your soul apart. But the storyline is so well done too. Like, that's one thing about Toy Story in particular, and there's more sequels coming up. Their sequels are very well done. A very worthy predecessor, and just so well done. Yeah. Next up, we have Toy Story 3, and that one is going to be my God tier. I slightly prefer it to Toy Story 2. And I've read somewhere that, like, it's kind of like an allegory for, like, the Holocaust and stuff, so that was wild. But this edges out because of the fact that Andy is growing up. He's going to college, and, you know, he's moving on, so he's not going to have his toys anymore. And again, when Toy Story came out, I was Andy's age. When Toy Story 3 came out, I was also still Andy's age. So I grew up with these films, and to see this film reminded me of giving up my childhood as well. The whole end sequence when he gives the toys to Bonnie, I cry every time. Like, it breaks my heart. It's so beautiful and so well done. And the whole journey of the characters at the daycare, you know, it was really fun to just see different toys that were outside of just Andy's toys. So that was really fun. And yes, I know Toy Story 4 is still here, but I still consider the original trilogy of Toy Story to be one of the greatest movie trilogies ever created. I will fight anyone that says not, but it was. I can't say that anymore because we have a Toy Story 4. which we will get into that because that's the last movie we're going to get into. But Toy Story 3 is just a perfect end to that story. And it was so beautiful. And oh my gosh, when the toys thought that they were going to die in the incinerator, like my heart for these toys. Oh, it was so good. So yeah, that has to go in God tier for sure. Yeah. I know I'm rambling, but yeah. Brave. I would put Brave in good tier, but there's no more room in good tier. Oh man. I guess Matt tier. That was tough. Okay. I guess the Matt tier, because it's not bad. It's definitely not. It wasn't what I hoped it would be. It was fun to see like a princess, because now she is actually part of the princess line apparently. So it was really fun to see a Disney princess that kind of also looked like me a little bit. But the story, you know, it's about mothers and daughters. I get it. But it's not as enchanting as I hoped it would be. I feel like Brave would have worked better as an actual Disney like princess film with music. Like, I think that's what was missing from Brave. It was just like an added element that it needed, because like I said, it's gorgeously animated. The characters are fun, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. And I feel like music would have made it better. So actually Meh seems like a pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Next we have Onward. I want to put Onward in good tier though. I don't consider Onward to be great tier. Wow, I'm gonna have to do shuffling, I can tell already. Oh crap, okay. Okay, so we're already gonna do some shuffling around because, yeah. So I'm actually gonna move the Good Dinosaur to trash tier. I'm sorry. I know that my friend Jen is gonna be pissed at me, but yeah. I'm gonna put Onward in Meh tier. Yeah. This one is tough. I love the characters in Onward. I really did. I liked the brother bond and how his brother was kind of almost like a father to him. However, again, it was just missing something. As I was watching it, I was very much enjoying myself. It was a fun adventure film. I'm still rethinking my choices right now, because I feel like I liked it more than Meh. You know what? I'm going to make another change. Onward's going in good tier, and I'm putting Finding Nemo in Meh tier. I just pissed off more people. Yes, I am doing that. Yes. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So I'm putting Onward in good tier. Again, it's still not that dissimilar in that I enjoyed it. I just wanted more from it. Like, I wanted that emotional punch, and I didn't get it. Like, I got it a little bit, but I didn't get it. And when I go to see a Pixar film, I want to cry. Like, I need to be able to cry. And I didn't really with this. So I love I love the world, the universe with the characters. It was really fun. But I just wanted something more from it. Like, it wasn't the best thing. It was good. It was good. Like, I would watch it again, but it wasn't the best. Yeah. Last we have Toy Story 4, and that's going to go into great tier. As far as animation, Toy Story 4 is probably Pixar's best animated film yet. Hands down. The animation for it is gorgeous. My mom and I actually watched all of the Toy Story films back to back over like 2 days in prep for seeing this, because she couldn't really remember all of the details of, you know, the other Toy Story films, and we wanted to see it. So we watched all of them back to back. And to see the evolution of the animation, in particular for the Toy Story films, is remarkable. Because you got from the very beginning of the company to where it is now, and where computer animation is now, which they helped basically create. And oh my God, it's so beautiful. Like, beautifully animated film. The story bothers me. I'm almost thinking if I want to change it. No, great sounds good. Yeah. The story is, what bothers me is that you have the original trilogy, which, as I said, is absolute perfection in every way. We didn't need a Toy Story 4 at all. Like, no one asked for it. I know that there's been a couple little shorts that actually have been on like Freeform and like ABC and stuff like that kind of continues their story and has like a little, you know, fun things for like the holidays and stuff. Totally fine, totally fun. Love it. But the fact that we have that emotional impact of Andy giving his toys, in particular, giving Woody to Bonnie, and then a year later, she gets tired of playing with Woody and plays with a fucking spork. This is why I don't like children. This really encapsulates why. Like, it just kind of took away the emotional impact of Toy Story 3 and the ending of that film. I like the adventure that Woody goes on in order to try to make his child happy, because that's always what he's done. But then to have him decide to be a permanently lost toy, I still don't know to this day how I feel about it. I know Tom Hanks was saying that he was crying when he read the script for this, because it's definitely the end of Woody's story. But to think that, you know, in Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3, he goes to such great lengths to get back to Andy, to get back to his owner, because his job as a toy is to make his owner happy in any way, shape, or form. And then the fact that he doesn't do that is really sad. It was fun that he got to be with Bo Peep, you know, that was really cool. And giving up a piece of himself in it as well to the doll toy, that was really interesting. Like, characters that they introduced in 4 were really fun, except for Sporky. I just think that was, I can't. That Sporky, in my opinion, was just basically a way to market like a new mascot and make money off merchandise to me, which is why I didn't really like it. But yeah, so it's not nearly as great as the first 3. And I feel like it kind of diminishes the first 3. Like, I enjoyed it. I did get emotional. There was definitely emotional moments, but it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen, for sure. But I still liked it. Like, it still is above, obviously, the others in the good, meh, and trash tier. So, yeah. I think I'm happy with this. I think I'm happy with this. So, to round it out, in trash tier, we have Cars 2 and The Good Dinosaur. In the meh tier, we have the original Cars, A Bug's Life, Brave, and Finding Nemo. In good tier, we have Up, Monsters University, Cars 3, and Onward. In the great tier, we have Finding Dory, Incredibles 2, Monsters Inc., and Toy Story 4. In the demigod tier, we have The Incredibles, Ratatouille, Inside Out, and Toy Story 2. And in the god tier, we have Toy Story, WALL-E, Coco, and Toy Story 3. So that's my final rankings. Again, I know people are not going to agree with me, but I wanted to make it harder on myself, and having only 4 max made that very hard, because I would definitely move some around to higher tiers if I was able to, but I can't. So, yeah, that's the final ranking. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking video. I'm sure I've made a lot of you guys mad, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably happy. Please, please comment your opinions down below if you think I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm very curious of where other people would rate a lot of these Pixar films. Some are kind of unanimously at the top, but when you get down to like the middles and the bottoms, like there's definitely going to be fights happening, I'm sure. This was fun, but it was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's something different. Let me know if you want to see more. Let me know what you want me to rank next, because that should be a lot of fun. I would definitely do more of this. I'm sure this is going to be a beast to edit, but it should be fun regardless to watch. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.